What is up, guys? NYKia31 here, bringing you my Madden 13 thoughts and review. I'm sitting here playing a friends list game with Mr. Heavy in the game here, playing on All-Pro difficulty. I believe it was 8-minute quarters. And I'm in 2 online leagues this year. Both of them are on OperationSports.com. I'm in the OS Vets online franchise and the 4th and 1 online franchise. I'm using my Jets in OS Vets and the Raiders in the 4th and 1. So I've been trying to, I know the Jets like the back of my hand, so I'm trying to familiarize myself with the Raiders roster, and this is the second game I've played with them, playing the same guy. I've only played 2 games with the Raiders against a head-to-head opponent.
Matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Philadelphia Eagles. And
he decides to pick the Eagles. I'm sitting here trying to learn the roster, trying to see if they can play my 4-3 cover 2 style, and find out who on the team can do what. And he picks the Eagles. He's ready to war up. But that's fine. The Eagles will provide a good test as to what these Raiders are made out of. I am in the Bill Walsh playbook and the Chicago Bears defensive playbook. And while I'm setting up my audibles here, probably going to be wondering, why the heck are you using so many screens in your audibles? There's a method to my madness, which I will go into later on, but you'll probably be able to figure out and see it as the game progresses, what the method to my madness is. So let's talk about the game. I've had the game for, if you factor in early release, for exactly a week. And I feel that pretty much is a bare minimum amount of time that you would need in order to craft a respectable review of a game. And the majority of the reviews that I've seen and have listened to have been fair, sensible, well thought out, well done. You still have, I suppose you always will have, your kook, lunatic, anti-EA, 2K Sports fringe, and also your faction of whiners. And it's a good thing that EA has chosen the approach of listening to those who point out flaws in the game, but also
shifting around in motion,
provide interaction and offer up solutions and constructive criticism, as opposed to listening to the kook fringe drumbeat. Otherwise, we'd have a game that we wouldn't have to play. We just drop the controller and watch it. But where to start out with as far as talking about the game itself? I guess a good place to begin would be the 500-pound gorilla, the Infinity Engine. Now, my thoughts on the Infinity Engine is, it's not the breathtaking, groundbreaking change that it was hyped to be, nor is it one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse it's being shown to be.
Now 1st and 10.
I noticed that YouTube and the internet in general tends to trend towards the negative more often than not. But in cases like this, the truth often lies somewhere in the middle. There are aspects of the Infinity Engine that I feel adds a lot of flavor to the game.
breaks free, has some space to work.
You see
with.
some really nice physicality on your offensive line, especially on run blocking situations versus defenders, as well as it makes the running game require a little bit more skill as you have to pick and weave and hurl your way through bodies, and gives you more of a sense of physical interaction going on out there. That's certainly a very positive thing. On the flip side, it also lends to some pretty, comedic moments. I mean, I've shown video of Sean Green getting twisted around like a pretzel. Versus has done some stuff showing some guys in some really contorted positions. It does, do that. And it does have some quirky moments. Like there is some, clipping that goes on and whatnot. And I'd like to see the ball be a little bit more tangible in situations where the ball's exposed and a player is contorted and all that good stuff.
That's a nice job by the offense there.
But overall, when you combine it with the read and react AI, more often than not, the majority of the time, the right outcome is happening on a given play. Now, I know some of the yakety yaks out there will be like, what about backbreaker? You all made fun of backbreaker. Why make fun of backbreaker? Well, the reason why people made fun of backbreaker was the game was garbage. The game sucked. And very basic mechanics were rendered useless because of the combination of atrocious AI and the ragdoll effects. And I stated earlier that I don't believe that this game is like that. I believe that they're doing a decent job of striking the right kind of balance. It's not a polished engine yet. And while I feel that read and react AI is much more finely tuned than, say, NCAA 13, both pre and post patch, there are some breakdowns as well, where you'll see players do some very strange things where they're caught up in between the Infinity engine and the AI, and the read and react AI.
Get a lot of leg on this field goal try.
As far as defense as a whole,
An empty possession for this will be
the game, and this has been a pet peeve of mine for a while, is still a little bit too dependent on blitzing to play run defense. Even if you have block shedding monsters up front and good linebackers who can shed blocks, make tackles, pursue, and all of that good stuff. I'd like to see the day come where we have true, gap assignments for run defense.
Screen pass.
I'm hoping to see us get to that point. And until we do, we're going to have a game where you're going to have to blitz more than you may like or should to play run defense. The pass rush is much better, as you see here. It's much, much better. Certainly much better than NCAA 13 as far as a base pass rush goes. And much more balanced than Madden 12, where the power pass rushers, the defensive tackles, and pass rushers again, base pass rush, and pass rushers with strong power moves had the advantage over speed and finesse rushers. If you have a good front four, they're going to do their thing. As far as pass defense goes, the game still favors man coverage over zone. You don't see quite as drastic route mirroring, but you still see it pop up from time to time. Zone is certainly very much a viable defense to play. I mean, I play zone the vast majority of the time. I'm a very zone-heavy player, and I've been very successful doing it. But in the online world, where people take the path of least resistance, man coverage in this game is simply easier to play. So in the monkey see, monkey do nature of online ranked, man is going to be the defensive choice. And it's really an aspect of the game that EA has backwards. No team, very few teams rely on a steady diet of man coverage. No one relies on a steady diet of zone coverage. Teams mix and match because most teams aren't blessed with elite all-pro coverage corners. Very few teams have one, let alone several. But in the EA Sports world, cover corners seem to grow on trees. Now, I personally think that all the coverage ratings are too high. If there's one person at EA Sports I'd like to slap in the head, it'd be Donnie Moore. I think he's pretty terrible at his job. And I don't believe anyone, not even my boy Mr. Rivas, should have a 99 rating in any category. But when you combine the fact that I feel like man coverage ratings as a whole are inflated, plus with how the game mechanics work, it favors man coverage more. A hell of a play here.
And they advance the ball.
As far as zone,
the offense heads to the line for the Eagles.
We do see, and this again ties into the read and react system, we do see good awareness, good player recognition by, the better the player is, the more he's going to be aware and recognize what's going on out of the read and react system in zones. But you'll also have those occasions where you see defenders standing flat-footed, which leads to big plays potentially. A zone defender should never be standing flat-footed, ever, 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 ever. He should be engaged, trying to read patterns, trying to maintain his zone coverage depth and leverage, following deepest to deepest, widest to widest principles, maintaining the integrity of the coverage as best he can. I want to see active, dynamic players at all times. I don't want to see defenders standing flat-footed. I don't want to see defensive linemen playing patty cake. I want to see activity. And then how good the player is will determine how productive his activity is. But with the read and react system, sometimes you run into instances where defenders are just kind of looking around, standing flat-footed before they decide and read what the heck they want to do. So that's an area going forward with read and react that we could see getting changed. And Mr. Shaughnessy here is having a big-time day. And the reason why he's having it is because of his matchup with Philly's left tackle. It's not a very good pass-blocking tackle. So you see ratings and player interaction play out pretty accurately, quirks aside. The coverage leverages and man work very well. I've done a video on coverage leverage and coverage assignments and man in zone. You do see defenders in zone passing off and rerouting players correctly, but again, I want to see more consistent dynamic activity.
We see it more and down.
And going back to my point on the pass rush, the pass blocking is certainly good in the sense that it's effective. Good pass protectors will pass protect well. And guys who match up favorably against the guy across from him will match up and do a good job. Slide protection works very well. I slide protect virtually every pass play. It's similar to NCAA 13 in its effectiveness. I did a video the first couple of days of NCAA 13 highlighting slide protection. And I'll probably do it for this as well if people are not aware of that aspect of the game. It works very, very nicely. The backside doesn't cave in, and guys slide in response to how you are ordering them to pass protect. The aspect of pass blocking that I do not like is just the dynamics of it. It's very static. I'm tired of seeing interior offensive linemen, guards, and centers blocking air when they have no one to block instead of looking to give help. what they do is that they wait for someone to be in trouble or be beaten before they look to give help. And sometimes they do it blindly, which is really annoying.
These guys need
They should be either double teaming,
or
or if not double teaming, looking to give help more actively instead of just blocking it. Do something, don't just stand around. The run blocking is, in my opinion, as far as dynamics go, further ahead of the pass blocking. Run blocking, I think, is done very, very well. You'll see cut blocks, you'll see guys reach blocking, down blocking, double teaming, and then going to the second level. I've shown some NCAA 13 and Madden 13 highlight clips of very solid, sound run blocking. I have very few complaints about the run blocking at all. You will occasionally see what you saw in NCAA 13 before patch, where you'll see a pulling guard usually pop and take a squat, so to speak, instead of aggressively turning upfield on plays that require him to pull. It doesn't happen nearly as much as it did in NCAA 13 pre-patch. It's still present and it can still be a bit of an annoyance, but overall, if you're running to numbers, using your eyes, running to daylight, picking through holes and through traffic, you'll run the ball. You won't have issues getting a steady ground game if you're running with sense. You're not going to be able to just rip off 15, 20-yard chunks at a strong close anymore. It requires a little bit more skill, a little bit more patience in reading your blocks and running the football. But overall, if you show patience with it, practice it, and use your best run blockers to your advantage, you'll do well. And online ranked is what it is. We all know what the world of online ranked is. Can you play realistic sim-style ball and succeed in the online world? Yes, I've proved that several times over. But if you want the best competition and the most enjoyable experience that doesn't get repetitive and boring, you're better off playing in online communities and online leagues. Otherwise, you just be getting repetitive gameplay all year if you're playing online ranked a lot. But that's your cup of tea, knock yourself out. So that is my review of Madden 13. Very fun game to play. Really enjoying it a lot. Has some quirks, of course. It's not perfect. No product is. But to me, it's far and away the best Madden I've played. And a very fun game to play. So hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you all later. Peace.